All right, here we go. I need my glasses I can't see, or contacts. Ew. Oh. Oh, that thing was stuck. Well, here we are again. Well, hi. Thank you for joining me. My name's Ash. Thanks for coming to my weird little space on the internet. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for stopping by. Little tiny channel, got your attention. I'm very pleased. So, anywho, let's talk about something that's been on everybody's mind, I'm sure. Looking at the financial news of the world is not the best. It's always all these talks about, is a recession coming? Damn sure feels like we're in a recession. This is one of the biggest slowdowns I've experienced in my small time here on this planet, in this life. Everything seems to be slow. No one seems to want to admit, especially not the Fed, that we're in a recession. But luckily for you, I have some ways that you can recession-proof your mind. What does that mean? What does that mean when I say recession-proof your mind? Well, there are ways that you can combat a recession by simply changing your mindset about the recession, right? About any economic slowdowns that we may have. They're almost always guaranteed. We can't always, fly high as much as we would like to. Anything that rises has to fall. So right now we're just in a bit of a slow period, and that's okay. If you might take away from this video if you are feeling a little scared, a little uncertain, you are uneasy about the unknown, which is totally human. That's how our mind works. If we can't figure it out, or if we don't know where we're going, we usually tend to freak out a little bit. So these are some ways that I know will help you kind of navigate the choppy waters of a recession, of an economic slowdown. This will help you fine-tune your mindset and to put actions so you're not sitting wallowing around in the misery and the anxiety of a slowdown. Just keep on watching. I know these are proven and effective skills that I use in my everyday life, and they are tools and revelations that I had to learn the hard way. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do, take slowdowns as a time to refine. I want you to reshape how you view slowdowns in the economy and even in your own life. Let's say you were at the point where you were grinding, you were going hard, and you might be at the point where maybe business isn't too hot. Maybe your job has let you go, or a mom and dad, and you no longer have children to take care of. How do we navigate the slow times when we're not so busy and so on the go? Ask yourself, are there any processes that you can refine? Are most systems in your life running optimally? And if you have websites, listings, chores, anything that has a system or has been on a schedule, can you improve on them? Can you sit back and go, well, dang, what was working for me and what is not working for me? Now that you have the time and space to get the bigger picture of things in your life. Slowdowns are great times for inner focus, for nourishment, to oil the machine that is you, maybe the people around you, to give it the maintenance that it needs to keep going, because inevitably the rise will come again. You will be busy again. There will be times in your life where you need to be in your hustle, be on your grind, be extremely focused, and keep going even in moments when you're tired. So this ensures that the next step in your life isn't going to be held down too much by any mistakes that you may have missed in the last cycle. Yeah, you get to focus and refine. Say if you have a listing or a website, you can take a look back and just be like, dang, this don't really resonate with who I am and where I'm going. You can make it better. Even if you started out with a brand, maybe you had a crappy Canva logo that you made years ago, and now it's time to revamp it. Like, wow, I probably need to look at my branding and revamp and revise my branding so it can reflect what I'm trying to communicate to new and old customers. Situations like that, or take the time, slow down, revise, renew, and come out on the other side when the inevitable rise happens again. Since we are in a slowdown, lots of businesses slow down, people spend a lot less money. This might be a wonderful time to learn a valuable skill or to improve and expand on the skills that you already have. I recently took up learning a language, which challenges me in such a way that I was avoiding for a really long time. I didn't want to learn a language because I knew it was going to be a little tricky, and especially in the beginning, to learn some basics and learn the rules and memorizing. I was kind of avoiding and pushing it off, but it has been like a lifelong dream of mine to learn a second language. And once I started to learn that language, I started to see that, oh, it's not as bad, especially if you get, your practice in every day for at least 30 minutes. Having a tutor helped out a lot. That is something that I really, if you can afford to do so, I could not highly recommend grabbing a tutor, even if it's just for one lesson a week, which I do. Please get a tutor to help you out. Lucky for you, since it's a recession and a slowdown, usually people might put things on sale so they can sell more of their product. So this is where you might be able to grab a deal on a course that you've been eyeing. Maybe some tutors and teachers have discounted their tutoring prices, and then that way you can get in with them to, learn what you wanted to learn. Improve your soft skills as well. Learn how to communicate better, learn how to negotiate, learn some more customer service skills that you may not have thought about before. Maybe it's time for more certifications to improve your resume. Maybe you want to now take the Excel course so you learn how to do Excel spreadsheets for your job. Maybe learning that second language so you can, become the English tutor overseas like you've always dreamt of being, so you have income when you want to live abroad in Japan or wherever else you would like to live. Yeah, now is the time to focus on things that you've been meaning to study and things that will take you and your career to the next level. It's a wonderful time for that. I can highly recommend just learning something new in the down times and the not so fast times. Another thing I want you to do to recession-proof your mind is to contact family and friends. Lean on them for support and also be supportive. It's never easy to feel like you are in the unknown of life and also being lonely through that. Not having anybody to express your feelings of frustrations and fears. Letting them know that they're not alone in this, that they don't have to feel bad if, say, your hours at work aren't what they used to be, that maybe you have been let go and laid off. Helping each other. Maybe you have a few ingredients where you can cook each other some meals for the week. You're afraid that maybe you can't afford your grocery bill for the week because you have been let go, or just sitting down with someone and letting them know it's okay. Having a community around you, if you're lucky to have one, can help you out tremendously. Pick up the phone, send the email, send the text message, and connect with people through these tough times, so you can get through them and you can help someone else get through them as well. All right, this one might be hard because we love to entertain our little monkey brains, don't we? But turn off the TV and the phone and get rid of the noise. Yes, put your phone down, turn the TV off, get your environment nice and quiet as possible. If you want to play some soothing music, sure, you can do that. But just sit in silence for a little bit. Get rid of all the noise. Get rid of all the news that keeps saying that it's an economic collapse. For every swing low, there is a swing high. That is a hermetic law of the universe, right? It's called the law of rhythm. So the pendulum swing to the left will always be to the the pendulum swing to the left will always equal the pendulum swing to the right. And you really can't escape this. That's just the nature of the universe that we live in. And just remember that it was bound to happen. So what happens is the news and a lot of YouTube media, they capitalize off your fear. They manipulate your fear for attention, because attention is the most valuable currency that we have. And they'll exploit you for it. They'll use it against you so you can keep watching. So once you get that adrenaline pumping, once you get all the juices and the chemical pumping from those little cheap thrills that you get, those little cheap fears that they love to milk out of you, you're gonna keep watching so you can feel like, okay, I'm in control by constantly worrying about the problem, which you're not in control. You're not in control worrying about the problem. They're always trying to get you to think that the worst is about to happen, and that's how they keep you addicted to keep coming back to it. Even if the worst was about to happen or is currently happening, are you really prepared for it? Are you really prepared for the worst that's about to happen? Really look around you and look around in your house and take inventory of what you have. What have you done to prevent an economic collapse? If the famine strikes tomorrow and you had no bread and you had no corn, what would you do? Do you have a good enough stock to last you for a few months? Do you have cash under the mattress to help survive? Do you have a way to get your water supply together if your water just so happened to not work or became undrinkable or unusable? If you just sit down and you keep watching the media, YouTube included, pump fear at you all the time, and you just sit there frozen in fear, you're not going to really want to do anything to change your life. That's why it's really, really important for you to turn it off and to put the phone down, to not look at anybody's life that you may feel is better than yours. Yeah, to not let yourself be manipulated over and over again by the constant fear machine that pumps through our screens. Put it down. Get yourself an action plan together. So just in case the worst does possibly happen, you were prepared enough. You were prepared enough to get through. For every up, there's going to be a down. Making sure your savings are together. Making sure that you have enough skills to bring in more money now, so you can save and you can invest wisely. Little things like that will help you get rid of the noise and help filter out and help give you a sense of focus, so you don't feel stuck and you don't get paralyzed from fear. Another thing I want you to do is to join groups that see opportunity instead of scarcity. I know it's kind of corny, but find community wherever you can. I know it feels a little harder these days because people are afraid to talk to each other. People are afraid to connect because if you don't have a phone in front of you, somehow you've been brainwashed out of natural connection and just saying hi to somebody and opening up. And all of a sudden everybody's an introvert and everyone's an INFJ and no one wants to. All of a sudden everyone is just so insulated and whatever. That's another video. It's hard, but it's not impossible. Yes, everything is expensive. A lot of things, it seems like, are on a paywall to join the community, but that's just not the case. There are so many programs at your local library. Meetups? I don't even know if that's still a thing. You're just going outside and connecting with people. Even the cashier, the door dasher, just say, hey, just hand me my meal directly. And make connection with them, saying thank you, dang, how's your day going? The cashier, wherever you shop, or maybe buying your food. There's so many opportunities for you to create a connection, a bond, to make someone's day a little bit brighter, to be curious about the people around you. You can start off as simply as just, if you're single, just going on, a few online dating apps and see how many people you can go on a date with. And you don't have to exploit them for a meal. You can offer to pay if that's something that you want to do. Getting outside and getting to know the people around you helps bring your focus back inward so you can deal with what's on the inside instead of letting the outside tell you what to deal with and creating all these fears and these imaginary happenings rather than, dealing with right now, what's in your reality. I know that if you apply at least some of these steps, your mind will be able to relax and you'll be able to feel better and take action on your life instead of sitting around waiting for the worst to happen and having all those imaginary scenarios happening in your mind that's gonna make you feel like shit every day. So these are steps that helped me. These are things that I had to see for myself to help calm me down, to help let me know that I'm in control. I think a lot of times we get afraid that we're just gonna be thrusted out of control, or that someone else has power over our lives and we are powerless in the way we want to run our lives. But these are foolproof ways to help you reclaim your power, help you gain back control over your mind. And once you gain back control over your mind, you'll gain back control over your whole reality. And that way you can thrive and succeed and prepare yourself for the next run up, because it's inevitable. It always happens. Look throughout history. Anything that rises must fall. So yeah, thanks for watching. I would love to see you come back, helped you out in some way. If it did, let me know in the comments. Anything that I forgot, let me know. Would love to talk to you about it. And I will see you in the next one.